Hello, welcome to CLSB Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. So, we had a vote for speaker today. It's kind of like a movie. You saw the original and it was like 17 votes or whatever, and there were people punching, and you're like, could it ever be that good again? The answer is no. Unfortunately, this was reasonably boring, but there is a little bit of inside baseball that I'd like to talk to you guys about. And also, the sequel's never as good as the original. What are you going to do? So let's get started. So I had some takeaways in the openings. Um, so the GOP basically some delusionally think because they lost seats in Congress, they now have a mandate of some kind. I'm not too sure. Uh, the Democrats had to defend twice as many Senate seats, and we had a candidate only had 180 days to run. So apparently, if you win by the smallest margin ever in the history of presidential elections, that's a mandate now. Okay. The Democratic Party was well united against Jeffries. I mean, for Jeffries with Jeffries, and they seem to be in good spirits. I think they kind of had an idea how this was going to play, but like me, they had an open mind. Maybe it will be the flaming, garbage can that it was 2 years ago. Oh, 2 years ago. So right after the openings, there was a call to order right after the initial part of the vote was taken. I'll get into that in a second. A representative who could not vote pointed out that there are 4.3 million Americans who don't have a voice in Congress, and they live in territories that are controlled directly by the U.S. government. I grew up on one of those little islands called Guam. It's beautiful, and yeah. So you are actually governed if you live over there as an American citizen, as I was, and as everyone else is there, and anyone born there. You are under this thing called the Organic Act, which is, think of it like Constitution light. Like, you have a member in Congress who sits in committee, but they don't have a floor vote. So once it leaves committee, whatever happens to it after that, they don't really have a say in. I actually worked with a congressman from Guam, Robert Underwood, very cool guy. He was congressman for 10 years. And he told me his number one job in Congress is he sits in these committees and he looks at these laws going by. The good ones he likes, he adds 2 words: and Guam. That's what he said. It's like his whole job. That it was a good thing and Guam. And if it was a bad thing, everything but Guam, He was a cool guy, one of the smartest people I ever worked with. And hey, still around. He's still on Guam. But he's retired, of course. So anyway, I think it's a good shout out. I think that the Organic Act is garbage. I think that these territories should be made into states. There's 4.3 million population. I mean, they made Wyoming a state when it was 50,000. I think that, Puerto Rico is over a couple million. I just feel like it's getting a little bit long. And honestly, Congress could make changes to their rules so that these guys can vote. They don't have to be states. You can have a territory that can vote. It's just a rules change. And it was supposed to be temporary. And then it just didn't change. So it's kind of messed up. So the first vote went through. Interestingly, it sat at this for about an hour as they did not gavel it closed. And this is kind of where it was. So the holdouts were kind of interesting. And I want to get into this a little bit. Okay, so there were 6 GOP candidates that sat on their hands because these things go through alphabetically, right? So if it comes to your name, you don't say anything. They'll announce your name a couple times and then move on. And then at the end, they'll call anyone who did not answer and you can vote. There were 6 GOP reps that did not vote when their name was called. They voted at the end. Chip Roy was one of them. He's a Texas congressman. Anyway, but then there were 3 holdouts: Ralph Norman, Keith Self, and Thomas Massey. And Massey's a definite no. He was quoted yesterday saying something like, they can pull my fingernails out, shove bamboo in, and I'm still not voting for Johnson. Obviously not a big fan. The other two, I think, were just looking for something to make them move. But the most important thing is that there's 6 plus those 3 is 9. And that's how many votes it takes to remove Johnson from office. If he does anything that these 9 hardcore right-wing representatives don't like. So, yeah, he won a vote, and he won it by exactly the amount he needed. No wiggle room at all. But these 9 reps here, these 9 guys, definitely sent a message saying, Johnson, if you work with the Democrats, you're cooked. So that's kind of where we're at. So those guys moved, boop, 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 and now 218 is what he got. So there you go. Now we have a speaker, kind of, for now. We'll see how long it lasts. I do have a great quote I found, though. It says, as Speaker, I will ensure the House delivers results and inspires change for the American people. That was Mike Johnson in 2022, just before he ran the least functional Congress in the history of our country. They passed the fewest number of bills ever in the ever. So, I mean, I mean, during the Great Depression, they had a really bad Congress who couldn't do anything. He did less than them. It's nuts. So this is where he was 2 years ago. He's saying the same crap this year. It's going to be the same thing. Worse, his margin's smaller now than it was then. And there's going to be a chunk where he's not even going to have enough votes to pass if every Republican passed, because they're losing members of Congress to administration positions. Those special elections aren't happening until April, May, June. So he's not even going to be at full power of his whole margin of 2 until until the spring. And they have all these things they want to get done in the first 100 days. Good luck. Not going through Congress, that's for sure. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. If you wish to support this channel, we have a PayPal at CLSB Politics. I just hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm putting together some more shows about, working with all the southern states and where I think the Democrats should go. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.